You're listening to Catholic Chicago. Ahead, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Welcome to Catholic Chicago.
My name's Joyce Duriga. I'm editor of the Chicago Catholic newspaper for the Archdiocese, and welcome to Beyond the Headlines, where we take a deeper dive into stories that we're covering in our newspaper. Before we get started today, I just wanted to let everybody know that if you go to chicagocatholic.com, we've been covering the local events, initiatives, fundraising efforts related to Ukraine, not to mention also sharing stuff that the Pope Francis is talking about. And he's been very vocal about speaking out against the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and also what our own Cardinal Supich has been saying too. So I encourage you to go to chicagocatholic.com for updates. Today we have we're talking to Michael Le Chevallier from the Lumen Christi Institute at the University of Chicago. They got some exciting news recently. They received a $3.65 million grant from the John Templeton Foundation to fund a national network of Catholic institutes of thought at universities, and then to also develop some programming around the relationship between science and religion. So we're going to talk to Michael about that today. Welcome, Michael.
Well, thank you. It's a delight to share this forum with you, and very grateful for the opportunity. And again, just want to reiterate as well my gratitude to you and the newspaper for all the work that you're doing for covering this important, the important words coming from Pope Francis and from Cardinal Supich regarding the events in Ukraine.
Thank you.
And we at the Institute, all of our prayers go out as well to all the people who are suffering during this time.
Amen. For people who don't know, would you explain what the Lumen Christi Institute is?
Yeah, so Lumen Christi was founded by Catholic scholars at the University of Chicago in 1997. And our broad mission is to make the Catholic intellectual tradition in its depth and breadth a living dialogue partner here at the University of Chicago, within the academy, within Chicagoland, and across the nation. And we host a number of lectures, symposia that are open to the public here at the University of Chicago. We hold non-credit courses, master classes, reading groups, Koine reading groups, St. Thomas Aquinas reading groups for students at our offices here next to the University of Chicago. And then we hold a range of programs, both in person and online, for people here within Chicagoland. And we have a number of efforts that extend to impact the academy. Summer seminars that are training future teachers, future professors in different topics within the Catholic intellectual tradition, ranging from Catholic social teaching to Thomas Aquinas to Augustine City of God to John Henry Newman. We have support a range of national efforts, including conferences in science and religion, economics and Catholic social thought, and a new effort around Catholic criminal justice reform.
Yeah, we do a lot of great work, and we've been to some of the events too. So I would encourage people to go to their website and check out the events. But so I didn't realize. So you got this grant from the John Templeton Foundation. I didn't realize there were so many other Catholic institutes in the country. So you're going to, from what we've talked about before, you're going to help establish a network, right, for all these different institutes, and then you're going to develop some stuff on science and religion. Can you talk about that network? I mean, how are any of you guys related, and how do you think you're going to be able to implement the network?
Right. So all of the institutes who are a part of the grant, there are 6 institutes total, including the Lumen Christi Institute, all share a similar inspiration from our founder, Thomas Levergood, of blessed memory, who passed away this past August. And as a layman in the 1990s, he was asked by sort of famous Catholic chaplain to the Calvert House here, Father Willard J. Bush, to help him do something intellectual here at the University of Chicago, really help respond to the obstacles of faith and reason that so many students face as they enter a secular university at age 18, unsure of how the studies that they're engaging in at the university interface with their Catholic faith. And so he developed this model and then very early on helped inspire the creation of institutes at the University of Uppsala, at the University of Virginia, all within 4 years of Lumen Christi coming into existence.
Wow.
Then later helping catalyze the creation of an institute led by now Dan Cheely at the University of Pennsylvania, the Collegium Institute, and then going on to help inspire and consult in the creation of institutes at Harvard, at Hope College, at USC, University of Southern California. So the 6 institutes that are forming the base of this network at the start share similar commitments to complementing the work of the university, providing a forum for Catholic scholars to speak as Catholic scholars, engaging in their scholarship, but also modeling the integration of the intellectual and the spiritual life to students. So at the outset, we are drawing together people who we know that we can work well with. And we're going to be expanding after the first year of the grant to include the range of other institutes that have come into existence alongside the university, sometimes in great collaboration or even projects of existing Catholic campus ministries, sometimes simply springing out of the need that is already there existing on campuses.
So as part of the network, will you all partner on like symposiums, or would you... Go ahead.
So the first point of the network is to just help build the capacity and support the work of these institutes on their respective campuses. We don't currently have any sort of network like this in existence. And so we're all trotting the same ground, dealing with the same issues, but often not able to lean on the wisdom born from the experience that people have on their respective campuses, born out of the trials of engaging with questions around faith and reason in a secular context. And so we'll be having a number of webinars to help build up the capacity of participating institutes, ranging on from strategy to engagement with students to measuring the impact that we have on students. My hope would be that at the end of this granting period, each of these institutes will be in a position themselves to apply for a major grant from the John Templeton Foundation or other major grantors like them. We will be planning together 8 different summer seminars for graduate and undergraduate students in topics pertaining to the dialogue between faith and the natural and social sciences. So we will be collaborating together to organize programs together. We will be partnering to advertise the hybrid programs that people are offering so that folks here, even in Chicago, could participate in some of the content that is being presented at Harvard or at the University of Southern California or UPenn. But mostly the first goal of the effort is to just help each of us do our work better.
That's exciting. I mean, so I have a couple of questions. We're going to have to take a break here in a few minutes, but we wanted to get into what is the Catholic intellectual tradition, and why does it matter? Why does it matter that we're engaged like this? So can we take the break right now, Mike? Do you mind? We'll be right back from a break. Thanks.
Did you know that Catholic Charities accepts car donations? If you're ready to free up space in your garage and put a stop to all those expenses that go along with owning a car, we will gratefully accept your donation, whether the car is running or not. You choose a pickup time that is convenient for you, and we will make the donation as easy as possible, free of charge. You'll receive a charitable donation receipt as well. We accept all types of vehicles nationwide, and you will know that your donation is made to Catholic Charities, an agency you can trust. To learn more about donating your car, call 877-786-4483. That's 877-786-4483. Thank you.
I feel special. I feel great. I got good grades.
We've seen a huge surge in our kids now meeting or exceeding grade level. Come check us out. You may have never thought we were an option before.
We are hiring. Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of Chicago is looking for mission-driven individuals who want to help make a positive difference in the lives of people in need throughout Cook and Lake counties. Be part of a diverse, talented team of professionals in the largest human services organization in the Midwest. We are dedicated to helping people chart a more stable, happier future for themselves, and we accompany anyone in need, regardless of faith, gender, race, or ethnicity. Competitive salaries and generous benefits add to the satisfaction you'll have every day knowing that you're helping us amplify our impact in Chicago. To see our list of employment opportunities, visit CatholicCharities.net.
Welcome back. My name is Joyce Duriga. I'm editor of the Chicago Catholic. This is Beyond the Headlines, where we take a deeper look at stories that we're covering in the newspaper. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, I would encourage you to come and visit us at chicagocatholic.com to see what we've been covering, local efforts of parishes to raise money and medical supplies and other items for the people of Ukraine. We've also been sharing the words of Pope Francis, who's been speaking out strongly against the invasion in Ukraine, and also the words of our own Cardinal Blaise Cupich. So today on the show, we're talking to Michael Le Chevallier he's the acting director at the Lumen Christi Institute at the University of Chicago, about this really neat grant that they got. It's about $3.65 million to establish a network of all the other Catholic institutes around the country, and also to develop some programming around science and religion. So you're all founded on this idea of the spirit of Catholic intellectual tradition. I mean, I don't know that we always think that we have one. I mean, we know we do, but how it all relates to academia and all of that. Can you talk a little bit about what it is and the impact it's had over the centuries?
Right. Yeah. So I'm based at the University of Chicago, and our celebrated University of Chicago president, past president, Robert Maynard Hutchins, remarked once that the Catholic Church has the longest intellectual tradition of any institution in the contemporary world. And yet, as you mentioned, so many of us sometimes even wonder if we have an intellectual tradition. Our tradition spans back to Scripture itself, and even Catholics actually in the early years of the Church were engaging not just with Scripture, but engaging with the inherited traditions of the Greek world, of Plato, of Socrates, and even pushing back against that. So you have folks like Clement of Alexandria embracing Platonic thought, and you have folks like Tertullian who are questioning the use of reason. Questioning what we can learn from the Greeks. So what can Jerusalem learn from Athens? So it is, for us, a tradition that dates back to those earliest efforts of early Christians trying to seek in their faith understanding. Too often, though, we presume that the Catholic intellectual tradition might just be limited to theology.
Right.
And I like to share that our institute and the range of institutes that work with us engage with the breadth and depth of the Catholic intellectual tradition. That means that we engage with the works of Catholic culture, whether it be poetry or art, and how we might seek better understanding through these artistic mediums. It means that as the popes over time have spoken to all people of goodwill through efforts like the Catholic social teaching tradition, bearing on issues from how we organize our political society to how we think about what a moral economy might look like, the Catholic intellectual tradition interfaces with that. And at the Lumen Christi Institute, we've been sort of at the forefront of the dialogue between economics and Catholic social thought from when Thomas, Cardinal George, and Joe Kabowski, an economist at Notre Dame, first met over breakfast in 2008 and then launched a series of conferences right after, not intending to coincide with the 2008 crash, but nonetheless following that, to bring together bishops, economists, theologians, and other scholars around core issues of our society, economic issues. And so we touch the depth and breadth of those, the Hispanic theological tradition, the contribution that Black Catholics make to the Catholic intellectual tradition, how science and religion interface within on the sort of un-Catholic terms.
That's what I was really fascinated by about the second part of this grant is focusing on science and religion programming. And I know you've done it already, but I think a lot of people think that those two aren't compatible, or that I've always thought it was cool, but our church has an opinion on aliens. Who else has an opinion on aliens? But we're like, hey, they'd be made by God, so they're welcome. But can you talk a little bit about that misunderstanding and how science and religion do complement one another, or challenge, or
Right. We, as American Catholics, have inherited a mythic perception about the conflict of science and religion. And there's great survey data that really indicates that this is not unique to the United States, but particular and amplified here. And that goes to our own history of everything from the Scopes trial to founding presidents of Cornell University advancing the conflict thesis, really articulating that these two worlds cannot either coexist or even complement each other. And what's unfortunate is that despite really a modern heritage of faith that embraces the complementarity between science and faith, there's still a majority of Catholics in this country who identify irresolvable points of conflict between the two. So looking back, for example, a 2016 CARA survey reported in Catholic Opinions About Faith and Science that came out in 2017 suggests that 6 in 10 Catholics still identify inherent conflict between Catholic faith and such modern scientific concepts as evolution and Big Bang theory. Now, the irony there is that the Big Bang theory was first articulated by a Belgian priest, George Lemaitre. So often we fail to recognize that there are Catholic scientists, pre-scientists, but also lay Catholic scientists at the forefront of cutting edge science. And yet so many of us are just simply ignorant of that and adopt a conflict thesis that's pervasive in our broader American culture. What's challenging is that this is even more prevalent among young people. So Christian Smith, a sociologist at the University of Notre Dame, suggests that 72% of Catholic emerging adults are convinced that the teachings of science and religion often are ultimately in conflict with each other. And his research further indicates that this perceived conflict is not unique to Catholics. You can find similar rates around other emerging adults who are former Catholics and who are non-Catholics. So this perception of conflict really curtails the mind's capacity to grasp what can be a rich complementarity of religion and the sciences, and especially Catholic faith in the sciences. and it inhibits really the essential integrative work that all Catholics are called to be a part of, as we're called to transform the world. And that world includes the disciplines of study that are out there. Now, that doesn't mean that there is a Catholic physics or a Catholic biology, but we Catholics who believe in the unity of truth shouldn't have any fear in the engagement of the sciences. That we should know that in the pursuit of truth of the natural sciences, within the limits of the sciences, can coincide with the truths of faith. And as Father John Carci, who is not only the rector of Mundelein Seminary, but also holds a PhD in astrophysics from the University of Chicago, he's argued before our high school students that we engage with through our Newman Forum that theology itself can learn from the sciences, that there are questions that are posed by the sciences that can help us to believe deeper and understand deeper the mysteries of faith.
Wonderful. We have to take another quick break, and we'll be right back with Michael Le Chevallier from the Lumen Christi Institute.
Catholic Charities has had the privilege of helping people in need in Cook and Lake County for more than 100 years. We would like to take this opportunity to thank our frontline workers who, despite the unprecedented challenges of the past 2 years, continue to excel at their jobs every day. From the warehouse staff members who pack boxes of nutritious foods for low-income seniors, to the dedicated WIC employees who have remained open for families with children under the age of 5, to our volunteers and restaurant partners who ensure that meals are available for those experiencing hunger, to our service coordinators and our professional counselors who continue their vital work in innovative ways, to our food pantry staff, and to all those who work at Catholic Charities Call Center, finding solutions for every person who reaches out to us for help. Charity is at the heart of all you do, and we salute you.
I am a seminarian.
The Church needs compassionate and well-trained priests to help guide each of us through life.
What inspires me, what draws me always to the priesthood is continue to see priests be a beacon of hope for other people.
You can play a part in the education of these young men as they prepare for a life of service to others.
I want to be that beacon of hope too, and it sets my heart on fire.
To support our seminarians, make your gift at archchicago.org/seminarian fund or call 312-534-7959.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines, where we take a closer look at stories we're covering in the Chicago Catholic, the newspaper for the Archdiocese. My name is Joyce Duriga, and I'm the editor of the newspaper. Today we're talking to Michael Le Chevallier. He's the acting executive director at the Lumen Christi Institute at the University of Chicago, talking about the Catholic intellectual tradition and a new grant that they got from the John Templeton Foundation. Michael, we have just a few minutes left, but I'm always thinking about in my work is how does this all affect the average person in the pew? And, this is some of the symposium, like I remember that finance economic symposium or conference that you all did, and you're talking at a really high level, which is all very important. How does it really break down to the average person in the pew? Is it because you're enriching the minds and the experience of the scholars, the economists, and what have you, who maybe make policy, or how does it all come down to the average person?
Right. So there's a few dimensions that we're working with at that level. As Christian Smith research indicates, kids are leaving the church, disaffiliating already at age 13, identifying among those reasons a conflict between science and faith. So holding programs like this at the University of Chicago, one of the top research universities in the US, and at like institutes at Harvard, Penn, USC, Cornell, UVA, all of whom are partners in this grant, helps illustrate to young people that there is not a conflict between science and faith, between Catholic faith and modern science, helping to ensure that there will still be people in the pew in 20 years. So first and foremost, we're doing that.
Yeah, that's a sobering statistic, and it's a big task. And what have kind of been the reactions that you've received? Maybe, and specifically, if you can talk a little bit about in the last couple of minutes about those young people that you're interacting with that are in high school or younger.
Yeah, so we held a recent conference in partnership with the Archdiocesan Vocation Office and Mundelein Seminary and the Society of Catholic Scientists and the McGrath Institute for Church Life that had over 130 high school students participating at Mundelein. And we had students approaching our assistant director afterwards, Austin Walker, just so grateful to see someone, a Catholic nun, speaking about the history of evolution in Catholic faith and the complementarity between the two, and just not realizing that there were already well-trod paths for describing the relationship between those, and so grateful for that. And so we had students who approached, and we're so grateful to learn about the science behind what distinguishes life and not life, and knowing that that will better inform their faith going forward. So for so many, we're just removing obstacles, but also helping create the enthusiasm that allows students who are both faithfully Catholic and interested in the sciences to know that they can pursue both of those routes without in any way diminishing their quality as scientists or in any way betraying their faith.
That's wonderful. Well, you always do such good work down at the Lumen Christi Institute, and people can go to lumenchristi.org to check out their programming. It's all over the place, sometimes down Hyde Park, sometimes downtown. Just saw you had something in Hinsdale, so it's well worth it, and it's always done very well. And again, I encourage you, please support the Chicago Catholic. You can go online and subscribe to our newsletters. You can subscribe to the newspaper for $25 a year. We come out about every 2 weeks. You can follow us on social media. And again, right now we're focusing on the invasion in Ukraine and how that's playing out, and the local and the national and international response. So I'm Joyce Duriga, editor of Chicago Catholic. Thank you for joining us today. You can also go on YouTube and watch this video, and have a gentle and joy-filled day.